Flows, what's up? It's good to see you all. Thank you all for coming. Glad you could make it for this late night edition. We do have PJ Cruikshank in Element. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm good. I did see this debate advertised last night. I thought, well, I'll watch it. And I kind of thought maybe no, because maybe you'd possibly cover it, so I haven't watched it.
Well, I did start listening to it today, but I haven't listened to it like too much. But I thought it'd be interesting because they had some points that I thought just be interesting to go through, and I'm sure a lot of people that haven't watched it would like to actually have a review on it. So we can actually do a part series on it because there is quite a lot to go through.
Cool.
Because tonight, obviously, because it's late, I can't go on too long anyway.
You've only got an hour tonight, ain't you?
Yeah, about an hour tonight. So I try to get some sleep in before the show, but children, they keep me awake. So I didn't get much sleep, but I'm here.
And obviously you've been getting up early, doing your exercise and all that, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm up 4:30 every morning.
Wow, man.
Doing the exercise stuff, and I mean, I need to catch sleep. That's one of the important things of doing exercise while he's sleeping. So I need to catch my sleep.
Absolutely.
So let's say hi to everybody in chat quickly. Good to see you all, by the way. Thank you all for coming. Please hit that likes and share the show. It really, really does help to get the show out to a wider audience. So it's good to see you guys here. Jeff Conklin, what's up, man? Miss Mod Queenbee, hello. Glad to have you in. PJ Cruikshank, obviously. Lar Translation, good to see you too. Thank you for coming. Glad you could make it. Ryan S, hello. Glad you could make it. Luch, hello. Good to see you. Glenn Sells, hey, man. Glad to see you in. Oz, thank you for coming. I saw someone else here as well. Of this long messages. INFE, hey man, glad you could make it to Tsaka. Thank you for coming too. Saddlebum, hello. SI Man. Sovereign Soul Unchained, good to see you too, man. He says he's also doing a review on this. I'm sure it was quite funny with the reviews you've done. Guys, if you haven't already, go to Sovereign Soul's channel, click on it, subscribe, and do watch his stuff. It's really well worth it. Good to see you, man. Jonah Edwards, hey. Glad to have you in, man. Always good to see you. And Alaric87, hey, good to see you. So, the votes tonight. It was just more for the fun of it. But it's good to see anywhere Flat is leading. 32 votes. Flat versus Globe. 56% say Flat. 34% say Globe. And then you got obviously the clowns. 3% concave and 6% convex.
How many convex?
6%.
6% convex. And how many concave?
3%.
No, 3% of us live in the tube. Nice.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's good to see you guys. Glad we can all make it to the show. So obviously we have Mercedes and Witsit on the Flatter side versus this Delcos and Mark Drysdale. Warning though, guys. You'll see early on this Delcos guy is going to get very triggered. He's going to do the normal global tactic things and over-talk them the whole time and, always try and just lead the conversation, not let anybody really talk and always want to be the man, you know what I mean? Even though he's being really stupid.
He's and throw his toys out of the pram sort of thing.
Yeah. But, whoever this Delcos guy is, damn, no. And I just saw Aaron Armstrong just popped in and Alan Orstrand. Good to see you guys. Thank you for coming in. Okay, ready to start the show?
Yeah, man.
Let's do this.
Justin, tonight's topic, Flat versus Globe, a classic, a favorite. We have Mark Drysdale, Delcos on the Globe side, Mercedes, and Witsit gets it on the Flat side. The Globe side has opted to go first. Gentlemen, you have 12 minutes total. The floor is all yours.
Well, thank you for having us again. This should be an interesting debate. So our side is going to be arguing for a globe. What basically 99% of science is built around is the Earth being a globe, not pizza-shaped, not hollow underneath. You know, it's what we see. It's what everything that we do in our.
Did you just hear it said pizza shaped?
No doubt. No doubt.
Do any of us believe we live in a pizza?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
So he already doesn't even know what he's debating.
It's just parroting of what other people say, isn't it? Pizza, flying disc going through space and all that, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, that's
Why-
how they depict it, isn't it? A pizza dish
Yeah.
in space still. I mean, they still apply their stupid
But-
heliocentricness to it, you know?
Yeah, but your thing is, what I don't get. Hey, YouTube, good to see you, man. YouTube. The thing
Yeah.
is, what I don't get is, they know this is not any flat earther pushes this. How many times do we have to tell them this? Even
They
Mark
know it.
Drysdale, he knows this. It's been said to him multiple times.
Of course, they just lump it all in together to make the ones who are making sense look silly as well, you know?
So yeah, and then they still come and push this, even though it's been told. Listen, yeah, no, this is not what we say. Yet they want to say it's it's really. So they be dishonest and they still use the straw man version, which nobody ever even says existed.
Exactly.
So it already tells you the debate's lost by them, because if you already start your opening presentation with a straw man model that you know is false and no one pushes, well, then you already know you've already lost your debate because you're starting with dishonesty.
Yeah.
Hey, Carl Apple, hey, DJD, and Mojo Shop. What's up, guys? Glad to have you in. Guys, please hit the shares, hit the likes. Glad to have you all.
Reality all based on. So when we send satellites up, all the mathematics that we use is based on a globe. When we send a space probe out to Mars, we've already been to the sun now with a space probe.
Been to the sun.
Oh, brilliant. Oh,
When did it return to you, Mark? Did you go at night time so it doesn't burn up?
shit.
Oh, really crazy.
All the mathematics that we use are all based on a Earth that is rotating as a globe, that is going around the sun while going around the berry point of between the sun and the Earth. Everything that we do points to a globe. Even on the globe, we have tides. We have tidal pulls from the moon. I've heard Witsit say that.
We've just said how many times that no, tides definitely do not prove a globe. What about no tides? That's not explained by your moon. Places have tides, places have no tides, places have 2 tides, places have 3 tides.
That's right.
Some places have tides without the sun and moon. Some places have the tides with the sun and moon together. Some places, it's inconsistent. Now we can explain. We can explain the tides and things based on demonstrations of how things work. Yet you guys just make claims about things like gravity that's not a force that's able to pull large bodies of oceans of water. I mean, that's all they do is just make claims. They don't actually back it up with demonstration.
No.
That we can't be sure that the moon has this gravitational pull, that gravity doesn't exist, and yet we see tides. We do see the effect of the moon on our water system on the oceans.
No, we don't.
Also, we have a slight problem that when we're at the poles, we know that things weigh differently at the poles than they do at the equator. You got about a 1% difference.
About a 1% difference. That's bullshit, by the way. Hey, Two Wolves, good to see you. You guys do know that I can literally take my scale at work and move it like 10 centimeters away, and it will change. Because as soon as you move a scale, it goes out of calibration. You need to... I don't know. This is insane. I mean, even the slight variation of temperature or air pressure even changes a scale's value. And also, by the way, guys, this 1% of variation, has anybody actually tested this out? Except for some YouTubers on the internet, like Mr. Wolfie on a plane that didn't really understand that when you change altitudes and pressures and temperatures and you move stuff, it changes.
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like I said, I can literally move my scale at work 10 centimeters away where it was, and it gives a different value. I mean, last time I checked, I'm not moving to the equator and away for 10 centimeters. Hey, Tony Whitcomb, good to see you, man. And Two Wolves, what's up? I think the people that trying to defend the globe with all this information, how can I put it? Just have blind faith. That's what I think. It's practically just blind faith.
So when we measure gold, that's why we don't measure it on electronic scales. We compare it to a known mass, and that's how we weigh gold. And that's obviously centrifugal force at the equator. So we also have that to tell us that it's spinning.
Centrifugal force at the equator. What? You have to know it's spinning before you can claim centrifugal force.
Yeah.
I've heard Witsit say that we can't look to the stars and assume that everything's a sphere. We can't say that the sun's a sphere. We can't tell how far away the sun is. Like, I actually listened to some of his debates over the last couple of days. Very interested, very well read, educated person. I do respect what he's saying, but I would say that everything that we see on Earth, I can't think of one thing that he was saying that I would stop myself and say, okay, makes sense. That in that one sense, I understand how it's flat. Even when he talks about gases not being affected by gravity, and
he just contradicted himself. Why? I don't see one thing. Look at that. He starts with saying he's very educated and blah blah, but nothing he presented would actually make me think, why it wouldn't be a globe and it can be flat Earth. Then he goes on to literally talk about gas pressure requires containment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a contradiction, because that literally means it's flat. I know gravity does not contain things, guys. Gravity is not a force. People are idiots. When are they actually going to demonstrate their gravity containing?
What's Luch on about? And the bit Flatzoid has never taken his scale to work and saw the change.
I work with them scales, Luch.
Yeah. He's on about them scales. Yeah, you do. You calibrate them every place you move, don't you?
Luch, I literally work with scales, dude. It's part of my job.
That all his electric
things. Luke, stop being a troll.
You must see he's even spamming my chat on my private DMs on Discord because the guy's such an idiot. Luch, you've literally become a troll since I've chased you off the show last show.
You were all right, Luch, but you're just starting to act like the rest of the anti-flat afters, dude.
Yeah.
You're divining what Flats thinks now. You know what I mean?
No, Luch can't accept that. How can I put it? He can't accept that his bullshit is just being seen through and told him just stop now. So now it's the only thing he can do is literally play troll.
Yeah. Well done, babe.
Yeah.
Electrical levitation and all this type of stuff. I just find that we have to make up a lot of science to cover this stuff that doesn't exist. I also find that there would have to be just literally millions of people lying about what their day job is, all the way from the people that put the satellites up. The International Space Station would have to be a lie. Sending probes out to the sun we've been all the way to Pluto and past now. Would all
been to where? All the way to a place that violates natural law. Don't you first have to prove that you can violate natural law before you can claim anything went there?
If you can violate it, it wouldn't be a natural law, would it?
Exactly.
All have to be a lie. The moon landing would have to be a lie. Just everything would have to be a lie. And I'm not sure where the advantage of this stuff being.
Exactly, Alan. The scales you sell come with calibration weights. And note that when you calibrate it, you use the weight. No matter which location you go, you're using that same weight.
Being a lie, because it really would have to be a lie, because everything that we do as far as orbital mechanics goes would be all thrown out the window. So everything that we're doing in the world as far as
Sorry, orbital mechanics relies upon a flat plane to get the measurements and calculations. Sorry, you didn't know that, Mark? Even orbital mechanics requires a flat plane geometry to be able to work. So your orbital mechanics you're claiming comes from a flat Earth, from a geocentric flat Earth, by the way.
anything escaping Earth would have to be a lie. There is no secondary mathematics that could come in and say, okay, well, these mathematics would work alongside of what we know right now. So we'll just use this model, and it could go either way. It's not an either way proposition here. It would have to be one or the other. Our mathematics work. And again, we pay millions of people yearly to do this job. And I guarantee you, they're not just sitting at home on their couches, coming up with all these lies and all this stage.
Nobody's lying. What's with these people lying?
They think that we think that everybody in the world must be lying about things. No, it's the higher up, there's people lying, of course there is, but then there's people just working, doing their jobs and stuff like that, and they don't know. They've been deceived as well.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you are commissioned to build a panel in, let's for instance, on a rocket, you're just going to build a panel, or you supplying the bolts, or you supplying the paint. You literally think, okay, I'm actually giving a physical product for this job, so therefore they're physically going to space. You understand? That's not the case. They're not lying. That's what they believe is actually happening.
Yeah, they're building the windows, they're building the nuts and bolts, they're building the ISS toilet and stuff like that. But they don't know no better. They're just building the parts for it.
Yeah, and everything is based upon the belief that they're going to space. It's all just mathematical based. It's based on a model. So they're literally building a mathematical model.
Yeah.
And models are not reality, guys. Just to let you know, we don't live on a model. A model is just literally descriptive. It doesn't make reality.
Aging, it's just it makes for a really interesting talking point. I just don't see where there's any reality in it. But I'm really looking forward to tonight. I hope it's fun. I hope it's respectful. I've heard many flat Earth debates go very sideways quickly. So I look forward to hearing what Mercedes and I look forward to hearing what they have to say. And I'll let my partner take over now and see what he has to say. I am sitting in a car. I will be heading home. I should be home in about 15, 20 minutes here. And then my picture will be a lot more stable and hopefully better lighting.
All right. So I'm going to approach this from I'm more
Mojo Shop, exactly. How many does it take to tell a lie? And how many does it take to believe that lie? Well, let me ask you something. How many people lie about Santa Claus?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, no, everybody must be in on it, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Santa Claus is real, guys.
Yeah, and the Tooth Fairy. And Superman, because I've seen him, and he's my favourite hero.
Yeah. Remember, the Tooth Fairy is a real thing, guys.
And Tooth
Think about this. 90% of people living tell their children Santa Claus is real. The Tooth Fairy is real.
Yeah.
Now, if they're able to lie about that, why do you think a handful of people aren't able to lie that they're going to a place that violates natural law? You understand?
Yeah.
They're able to lie to their own children. their own children, their own flesh and blood. Why do you think they would not lie to people they don't even know for a lot of money, I might add?
That's right.
Yeah. Think about that for guys.
We're interested in to see why. I think flat Earth is an interesting concept. How much time do I have? Justin? Okay. So I think flat Earth is an interesting concept and like a conspiracy overall because
Conspiracy.
it doesn't really deal with death or losing anything. A lot of
What conspiracy? I don't even think you know what conspiracy is. Concept.
No concept.
Last time I checked, reality is not a concept, Delcos. So you're in a category error.
Yeah, that's it. They're the one living on a paradigm.
Why does it look like he's sitting in a pantry somewhere?
It does, doesn't it?
conspiracies, including like
moderators. I've never seen this moderator before.
No, I've seen him before. He's been on a few times. He's okay.
Okay.
He's not too bad, but he doesn't really interrupt that much.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Real Nye, thank you for coming. Good to see you, man.
vaccine, anything.
Real Nye, I'd love to actually team up with Witsit for a debate. I think it would be quite cool.
That would be good.
No, we don't teach our children Santa Claus is real.
Just tell them not to mention
because
incoherent. Was it incoherent? What's that? Incoherent something acceleration.
Dielectric incoherent, whatever.
Acceleration, yeah, incoherent dielectric.
But yeah, Aaron's asking, do I teach my children about Santa Claus being real? No, we don't teach them that. They know from an early age it's a satanic pagan belief system. But we do celebrate gift-giving day because the rest of our family do celebrate Christmas and everything. So yeah, we celebrate it based on visiting family, spending time with them, and, you know, for the children giving gifts. But they know it's not from Santa Claus, if you ask.
Why should he get the credit anyway?
Yeah.
You spend all that money and he gets the credit.
Any conspiracy you can think of really is built around losing someone, death, around avoiding something, or
Really? Any conspiracy is avoid? No, that's just bullshit. Conspiracy is specifically to conspire against someone. It's got nothing to do with death or built around someone losing someone or something. Or what? What's it? This guy doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
Madness.
Oren, teach and tell is the same thing, mate. You do understand children have spongy minds, so if you tell them something, it's sort of like teaching. If you tell them, don't touch that hot stove, you're teaching them not to touch that hot stove. You know what I mean?
Generally putting yourself somewhere that you want to avoid. I think flat Earth is interesting because it's one of the only ones that I found as writing a paper on it, to where the reason to be a flat earther isn't to avoid loss in the sense of losing somebody or to avoid death. It comes off more as a need for either, I don't want to say validation, but something to where you feel inferior.
What? In other words, you feel inferior to become a flat earther. What? Sorry, does anybody here that became a flat earther ever become a flat earther to feel inferior?
To feel inferior?
What the bloody hell did he just say?
No.
First of all, he doesn't even know what conspiracy is, and he wrote a paper on it, and now he's saying flat earthers become a flat earther to feel inferior.
No, of course.
Dude. Now I'm starting to wonder if he's ever written a paper.
Yeah.
Because the people would have told him this is hogwash. And I think he would have got 0 points because they'd say, first of all, this isn't what a conspiracy is. And second of all, what the hell? Hey, Moomin Rider, good to see you, man. That's just nonsense.
And want to be the expert that you know you actually couldn't be. And so throughout this debate, I specialize in emergent properties and complex networks, specifically consciousness and theory of mind understanding, things like that. I've been focusing on LLMs a lot recently.
Wow. Listen to what he does.
Writing a paper on it, to where the reason to be a flat earther isn't to avoid loss in the sense of losing somebody or to avoid death. It comes off more as a need for either, I don't want to say validation, but something to where you feel inferior and want to be the expert that you know you actually couldn't be. And so throughout this debate, I specialize in emergent properties and complex networks.
He specializes in emergent properties and complex networks. Wow, that's a very broad field.
I don't get why we'd want to feel inferior. We'd want to feel lower in rank to someone else, or you know what I mean? I don't get that. I don't get why
That goes against human nature.
Of course. I mean,
And what makes us inferior to say the Earth is flat? What the hell is wrong with this guy?
maybe he doesn't know the meaning of inferior. Maybe he thinks it's the opposite of what it means.
Oh wow. Hey Lev, good to see you, man. Glad you can make it. This is bad. Okay, bad.
Specifically consciousness and theory of mind understanding, things like that.
So he specializes in consciousness and theory of mind, and he wants to tell flat earthers that we're wrong. Delusional much?
I've been focusing on LLMs a lot recently, but I'm going to approach this. I just think it's going to be an interesting look into flurfs, and I have some fun questions. And for the record, I do have this. Can I screen share really quick? Okay, how do I do that? Share screen. Please don't share something that's not good. Is this the right one? Yes? Yes. Okay. Go. All right. Does this look like it's good? Okay. So, yeah. So I remember with the previous debate saying that nobody has taken more flights than he has. I have to correct you because I fly a lot. I flew a lot a few years ago because I was doing a lot of...
What? Now he's going, I heard Witsit say before, no one's taken as much flights as he has. What the hell does that have to do with anything you guys are debating now?
Oh, what?
PJ.
Do you know what that is? That's my next door neighbour. For some reason, the Bluetooth hooks up to, when they put the music on, it hooks up to my Bluetooth clock, and I don't know why it does it. I just got scared then. Music came out of nowhere.
Oh wow!
It happened the other night. I was like, "What's going on?" Michael Jackson started playing. I was like, "I'm not playing anything. What's going on?" It's next door.
Yeah, I don't know how old Delcos is, but he seems very young. He looks to me like he's maybe 19, 20, maybe even 21 around there. But he looks very young, very naive, and still wet behind the ears. But what does flying got to do with anything? The amount of flying?
A lot of work in Tennessee with industrial equipment. So I have quite a few flights. I just go on Priceline and find the cheapest one.
Whoa. He works with industrial equipment. But he just said he works with the mind, the conscious mind, and... What? Industrial equipment has got nothing to do with your mind.
No.
So how do you specialize in working with the mind and consciousness if you're working with damn machinery? So, just a red flag there.
But we can, we've done quite a bit more than 7. We can keep scrolling.
Hey, Carl,
I'll stop
good to
scrolling.
see you,
Oh, there's the end. We can understand. But I can assure you that from the plane, the Earth does not look flat. And we have this fun thing. I mentioned last time I was in a debate. Hopefully it's muted. This is an SSTV that you can do. Well, you can't do anymore. But you could find on YouTube. You can go on. They're like 10.
Oh, you can't do anymore. But yet you want to show it. So you show a black screen. That's so clever. Way to not make your point.
10, 15 years ago. No, it's not playing yet. It's black. It's purposely black. So this is received through sound only, through a ham radio, transmitted from the ISS. And you can get there. Sometimes they transmit pictures of Earth. Some things they transmit like their ID badge just for fun, stuff. But you can find videos all around YouTube of them transmitting these pictures live because you just be some guy with a ham radio. You could do it on I think a Baofeng I was going to use, and you just have an extended antenna. It's not like it's, it's not restricted. There's no.
Well, I doubt this guy was out of his diapers 15 years ago, so. Yeah. Ham radio. Well done, man. I wonder, can ham signals get bounced from relay stations?
Special equipment, but I thought this was interesting just because this is one that I found. I have them on an old camcorder, but I have to grab that. But that's all. How do I stop sharing?
This does look like it comes from like a Macintosh computer. Like when we still had MS-DOS or something.
Yeah.
Windows 95. Woo! Also, guys, does this look anything like the ISS they show us today?
No.
Why does it look so different?
Stop sharing. Okay, cool. So that's really all I have. I'm going to try and, because I know everybody's seen the flat Earth debates of, oh, it's level or whatever, but I think it'd be interesting to look more into why and how they think. And that's the end of my presentation.
Did you get Witsit? He's like,
All right. Thank you so much, Delco. So for anyone who's just joining us, tonight's debate, flat versus globe, it's everyone's favorite good time. It's Flat's turn to give us their...
Yeah, this guy looks very young to me, this Delcos dude. I don't know. I literally think he's still wet behind his ears.
Aye. Nick Green.
For all you know, he's the janitor there and he's in the pantry closet and he's trying to act like one of the guys working at the engineers. You know what I mean? I mean, for Pete's sake, he took one of those ribbon arms and he's taped his mic to it. Maybe he's like working overtime there tonight. It's like, yeah, no, I'll work late. I'm cleaning the shelves.
Opening statements, but just before I give the floor over to them, I want to remind everyone to go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and you can start getting those super chats in whenever you're ready. We will be getting to those super chats in about an hour and 15 minutes from now. So, Flat Side, the floor is all yours.
Alrighty, so I will go ahead and take it. There were a lot of questions. I wanted to address a few things that Mark said. He mentioned that millions of people would basically have to be lying in order for such a huge scheme to be pulled off. And I would argue that that's actually not true. Our government has obviously committed a lot of conspiracies, as we were talking about with Devin. There's obviously a lot of conspiracies out there. And there's a lot of conspiracies that our own government has released to be true that they were hiding from us for years. And it was just people at the top that knew. It wasn't all the soldiers and all the marksmen. Like everything on this earth works a lot like how a pyramid scheme does. And a lot of the bottom people are not going to be told what the people at the top are doing.
That's how it works.
So it does not have to be millions of people in NASA. And I can tell you from experience that a lot of the people in NASA are actually independent contractors. And they're given specific jobs and tasks and specific levels of confidentiality of where you get to know this much information, that much information, or this much information.
Why is this guy moving so? It's like he's fidgety. He's very fidgety. He just can't sit still and listen.
He's still trying to think. Did I use the word inferior in the right context?
But
I mean superior.
yeah, but the way he's moving is very fidgety. It's like he just can't sit. He's got ants in his pants or something. And Mercedes is correct. It's all just like a pyramid scheme. You don't need anybody all people to lie. You just don't need to tell the majority of the people what's happening. It's as simple as that. If they're doing their job, they're doing their job. They don't necessarily lying or know they're lying. They're just doing their job.
Yeah,
that's about it. Hey, Gavin B, good to see you, man. And a lot of the things are contracted out, so they get contracts with different companies all over the place, and it's not specifically NASA. It's companies that they contract and commission to make certain parts or do something specifically for NASA and other space agencies. But in this case, they're talking NASA, so.
So it's just the people at the top that really have to know what exactly is going on as far as who's lying about the shape of the Earth. It does not have to be the person sitting there trying to design, like a helium balloon for NASA, because they admit that they still do those and attach it to satelloons, which are satellites. So yeah, there's a lot there that we can get into in more detail, but also on the mathematics side too, that you mentioned, the mathematics that we've been using. The mathematics we've been using are based on things like a compass or a horizontal plane. For thousands of years, everybody knew that the Earth was flat. Mm-hmm. So the mathematics there were for a flat Earth, not for curvature. That is a newer math, and
And even their newer math is based first upon the flat Earth. Yeah. They actually take the flat Earth measurements and then they use their calculations for a globe Earth model based on the flat Earth measurements. So yeah. So it's still actually flat Earth.
The theoretical math. And they also use gravity within their theoretical math. And gravity itself is a theory too. It's never been stated that it's a law. It's always been a theory because it's made of 90% of that dark energy.
Yeah, it's made of hopes and dreams. That's what gravity's made out of, guys. Hopes and dreams. Why? Because they don't actually exist. It doesn't actually exist. You can use it to explain things. But does it mean it exists? No. I mean, I can use things to explain pixies. How about art? I can draw a pixie. Does that make a pixie real? No.
Only in your imagination. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mercedes, we lost your mic there somewhere. Mercedes, can you hear us?
Mercedes? She's muted.
Oh, dear. Mercedes?
Oh, and that's the show.
Pretty much, isn't it?
We can't hear
Yeah, I don't think she can hear
her.
Mercedes, your audio cut out. If you can't hear us, I don't know.
And she's not
her
even
headset probably
she's not even looking at the screen, so
disconnected and she has no
G
idea.
actually could mean just zero. Oh. And in a lot of NASA documents, if you go look,
can you hear me,
G
Mercedes?
does equal zero, which is quite interesting. When I looked into gyroscopes for the first time, I went to NASA documents. That was the first place I looked. And one of the interesting things to me was that they had gravity equaling zero in almost every...
No, I don't think they put on mute because she would still be able to hear them. Because if they put on mute, then she could still hear them, but she couldn't hear them at all. So I think there's an issue with her earphones or something.
Single equation that they had. So it meant that it didn't even equate to anything. It wasn't actually being used as a real thing. It was just a placeholder. So when Devin was asking, do flat earthers just like feel inferior? Is this where this comes from? No, a lot of us were huge.
Dude, whatever this guy's on, you should maybe think of changing his caffeine. Maybe he's on a hectic caffeine or he's taking some supplement that's not really good. Because this guy's very fidgety and man, probably got a very stuffy nose as well because he doesn't stop with his nose. It just never ends.
Like, was that a tissue wrapped around his mate? Not wrapped around his mate.
Mercedes is actually, she's quite an intelligent girl. I've heard her debate before. She's got a brain up there, definitely.
Into science fiction. I myself was really big. I actually talked about it on this channel last time. I was really big into sci-fi. I was huge into Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, Babylon 5. I actually grew up being a sci-fi kid. Mm-hmm. So when my dad decided to change to be into a flat earther, I took that as a challenge and I tried to prove him wrong. But in order to prove him wrong, I had to know what the actual argument for the flat earth was.
Notice what you just said. Know what the actual argument for the flat earth is.
Yeah.
Not the straw man. Not the straw man model that you guys love to argue. The actual argument for the flat Earth. I like that. You see, that's why she's a flat earther, guys, because she was honest about this,
Yes.
you know, about the whole flat earth thing. She wasn't taking it on, you guys are just stupid, you know, I'm going to take a straw man model and ignore every time you tell me it's a straw man model.
But I've heard of a few flat earthers becoming flat earthers because they tried to disprove it, you know? Try to disprove it and end up becoming flat earthers.
Exactly. You know, Gavin B, it's good to see you, man. Yeah, sometimes people do struggle with elements, so. But it's good to see you, man.
And so I went to those
She
sources, and
was
at the
honest with
time, a
herself,
lot of
Glenn,
them had,
exactly.
you know, documentaries out there like Eric DeBay had stuff, ODD TV had stuff. Some of them were on YouTube, some of them got taken down, and you had to go other places to look. I went to the NASA.gov, I went to the military, which a lot of them took their own FOIAs down for some reason. CIA had their FOIAs, and so did FBI on their website, and all of them had documents on flat Earth, probably totaling over 50 documents. So it's got a lot more to it than I think people would first assume. And that the fact that we have so much information on it and it's been around for so long should make people question it. Because I almost feel like I was more inferior back then because I thought I knew. I thought I knew that the sun was 93 million miles away and why. Like I knew a lot of that stuff, and I thought that, you know, I was smart because I knew that. So to have to question my own worldview and my own belief system and thinking flat Earth was stupid, which is where most of us start out at. Yeah, I never would have assumed I would have become a flat earther. So you have to realize that all these people that do, they have to literally be convinced against their own belief system and their own worldview to get to the point that they're at now. And with that, I'll turn it over to Witsit too, because I know he's got a good presentation to kind of hopefully show some of what I just talked about.
All right. Just so you are aware, Mercedes, you cut out for maybe, 15, 20 seconds, and you couldn't hear us either. So I don't know if you've got a short in your headset, maybe.
That's so true, Glenn. Yeah, I still like sci-fi stuff, guys. I just see it in a different light, that's all. But you can still enjoy it.
Yeah, I love sci-fi.
That's all. You just don't...
Anything to do with time travel, space, stuff like that.
It's still nice to watch.
Absolutely. I just know I had to laugh. It's gone now, but under super chats, I noticed LJ straight up there.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
LJ's always at MDD. Shout out to
he's
LJ, mate.
He's the question king there, man.
Yeah, he's always there at MDD.
Yeah.
maybe or something, and you switch position. But just so you're aware, but I have full confidence that Witsit will fill in those blanks. So
Sorry about that, guys.
it's okay. Go ahead, Witsit.
All right, yeah, I'm sharing screen.
Oh, I'll put that right up.
Given, yeah, that's true. I have noticed in Star Wars and things when they do destroy the ships or something, their ships they fall.
Fall, yeah.
Why? If it's supposed to be no gravity.
Wow.
Cool. You're good to go.
All right, cool. So just a basic few questions. Like, no, the debate's not about why would people think
Jeff,
the
good
Earth's
to see you,
flat.
man.
That's
Nice to
just
see
a
you.
complete red herring. We're deciding if we're trying to discuss if it is in fact flat or a spinning globe. Psychoanalysis, it basically equates to poisoning the well, and that is a fallacy. But so this is as to the motion claim. We can break it up into two fundamental claims: the spherical geometry claim and the motion claim, and they require evidence since they are positive claims. Here's Einstein himself saying that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical experiment after he came across Michelson-Morley, which led him to special relativity, the prerequisite to general relativity. Anyone claiming that they can detect the motion of the Earth around the sun is going against their own belief system. People will say that this is cherry-picked. I invite one person to actually articulate why, and I would happily discuss it. Same thing here, no terrestrial.
You'll never get anyone doing that, Witsit. Because all they do is parrot their nonsense and say you're cherry picking and lying. And that's how far it goes.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just how far it goes. Have you noticed the people that usually say things like that, though, don't actually want to engage and tell you how they get to their conclusions? I mean, it's the same with the Delcos.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you guys don't want to talk to me. You're just idiots. You just want to insult. And as soon as we go on, we get blocked and we get thrown off and we get insulted and sworn at. You know?
Yeah, that's
We
fallback
don't.
kind.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens when people present stuff like this, because they don't like you throwing their own superheroes for their globe in their face. They hate that. That's why they don't want you to talk about people like Einstein or Neil deGrasse Tyson or Brian Cox or whatever, because they literally go against anti-flat earth rhetoric, and they are globers. Those are the actual globe believers. The anti-flat earthers know it's flat. They're just fighting for a globe that doesn't exist, based on a belief model of a globe that doesn't exist, because, well, they're just fighting for the heck of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've literally just come to the point on this whole flat earth thing that anti-flat earthers are just a waste. There's just no talking to them. There's just no conversing with them, because they are dishonest by design.
Oh, well, let's see it. I mean, look how many times we got the Luke stick concede, and then the next straight away after that was, oh no. After conceding, no.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Hey, Paul, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming.
Experiment can actually detect the motion of the Earth, which means it equates to a belief system, and it literally cannot be detected. Here he is saying that, Mickelson basically, he actually uses the word proved, for all the people that hate that word, that everything on the Earth takes place as if the Earth
Yeah, don't tell Jaren that, Witsit.
Yeah.
is in a state of rest. Another piece of it here was I hear also talk about something electric, and we have to make up all these things with no science to try so hard to make the Earth flat. It's actually the exact opposite, because this right here is just a fact that we have ionization, right? We have equipotential charge increasing from the ground, and it comes down to the surface. It's measurable. We have a downward electric current. Here's how you can replicate that with two physical Gaussian surfaces, or plates that act as the surfaces. And this is what we observe on the Earth. Of course, you can't have this on a sphere. If you put a conductive sphere in an electric field, then you have radial distribution.
Yep, you need parallel Gaussian plates for this to happen. If you're not going to have parallel Gaussian plates to happen, you're not going to be able to get the currents going through like it's supposed to. And yet, you have to concede this. There is measurements for this. There's actual measurements for this in our air, and it's able to be demonstrated. So, based on this fact, I'm not going to say anything against it, what Witsit saying. But I still don't believe it's the reason for a downward bias, because there is no such thing as a downward bias.
Especially when things go up.
Yeah. You understand? There is no such thing as a downward bias. If there was a downward bias, things won't go up.
Therefore no uniformity. Quite literally, the field that we have on the Earth, which is a vertical electric field, is impossible on a globe. It's also impossible without a physical Gaussian surface, or certainly can't be replicated, and it's a baseless claim to claim that it is. So here is actually excerpts from Richard Feynman's lectures, and he says right here that there's a current density about 10 microamps per cubic meter, in addition to what we just discussed, which is the potential gradient.
And no, this microamps power output is much stronger than your beloved gravity, even if it was given as a force. Really odd. And gravity is not a force.
And the air is not a perfect insulator. And so because of this conductivity, a small current caused by the electric field of the Earth passes from the sky down to the Earth. And although this current density in the air is only a few microamps per square meter, there are very many square meters on the Earth. So the total electric current reaching the Earth's surface at any time is very nearly 1,800 amps. The current, of course, is quote unquote positive, and it goes down to the Earth with a voltage supply of 400,000 volts with a current of 1,800 amps. Now, these numbers are actually built upon the assumption of the total size of the globe Earth. So that's obviously not even true. The point is that there is measurably a downward electric current on the Earth. So we're not making up science. We're not adding to science. We're talking about, hey, in the real physical world, world. This is what we can physically measure, and we can manipulate this and prove it changes something vector. Space-time is the made-up thing required in that scenario. This is Canigoo, of course. This is an observation that can take place 2 different times every year. We know that the sun changes where its path throughout the year, and it sets just behind Canigoo on a couple days throughout the year. People go from all around the world. They know they can come and see that they'll see Canigoo Mountain in front of the sun on these particular days. Based on the observer point, you should not see the mountains. They should be blocked by Earth curvature by a few thousand feet.
Yep, and yet we see this.
Yep, clearly.
Clearly.
What is that, about 60 miles?
No, okay, I don't actually know, but it's very far. And it's not supposed to be seen because those Canigoo Mountains are supposed to be, like I said, 1,000 miles or something. What? Thousands of feet below the beloved Earth curve. Yet you see the silhouette of it perfectly. So they can't actually claim refraction because, yeah. It's really insane. They like to claim refraction for everything if they can't explain it. You know what I mean? But let's put it this way. Based on Occam's razor, what is more viable based on Occam's razor? The Earth is a globe, so they have to make up shit like refraction to bring up things that shouldn't be seen, or just to accept we can see that thing because that's what we see.
We're actually seeing it.
The globe, he said, those are clouds. Yeah, shaped exactly like Canigoo. And you can see this more than once a year.
So the globe Earth model requires you claim that this is refracted. How convenient that refraction conspires with the Earth to make it look like it's flat, that every single day that the sun just happens to set right behind it to give us the silhouette, we can actually see the Canigoo Mountains as if they're really just there. I don't know how it would look any different if they were actually there. That's what you would see. But no, we have to actually deny our sense to say that's not there. So if you believe the globe, you must believe.
Thanks, Adobam. Yeah, 173 miles, PJ.
Oh, 173 miles. Wow, what was way out? I said 60. Wow.
That those mountains are not actually there, and refraction just so happens to consistently.
Yeah, it's magic clouds that just make the shape of Canigoo Mountains every time they make this observation. Because you get people actually going and doing this observation because it's at certain times of the year you can see this. So they actually get out. So it's amazing then refraction decides on that specific day to work the same every year. Don't you think that's weird? So when are you able to predict when refraction will work on a certain day, a certain time, exactly like it should? That's a bit odd.
On that day, make us think the Earth is flat. You brought up tides. These are called tidal nodes. These do not work in your model. I have a Harvard paper that says over a century of failed tidal theories, your model cannot explain the tides, admittedly, and it also doesn't move exactly with the moon. It's delayed and not consistent, but you cannot explain tidal nodes. I don't need to.
One thing also, because I still want to do my tides update video. You see these gyres. You know what the gyres are? These are all the currents going and moving towards where they, circling the current, where you have what I call like circling currents. It's just a gyre. Because of the topography. It's got absolutely sweet bugger all to do with a spinning Earth. The gyres are specifically just got to do with the currents that's moving because of the topography, and that's where they meet, and then they spin. And that's why they go and all the trash and stuff meet up there, and they go and clean it up and stuff.
Replace it, although I probably could. So gravity doesn't even work for that. I'm just going to cover some of the basic fallacies because then we can get into the deep.
Yeah, guys, please subscribe to Alan Norstrand's channel. Definitely well worth it. Thank you, Paul, for putting up his link. Appreciate it, man.
Details, but I would like to prevent fallacies, right? So, of course, one of them is attacking the person instead of the argument, which is called a straw man fallacy or an ad hominem fallacy, right? So, flat earthers just don't understand basic science, as an example, right? Or poisoning the well, similar. It doesn't even have these fallacies on here. It's kind of crazy, but I remember them. So it's this one is dismissing an argument by asserting the person who made the argument doesn't have the proper credentials. That's called a credentials fallacy, right? So you don't have a degree in the subject. I'm mentioning these because you will see that they will come up repeatedly in the debate, and fallacious arguments are invalid arguments. Attacking a misrepresentation of the other person's argument, similar to how Mark called it a pizza. Why don't we fall off the edge of your space? Pizza is literally the example I use. That's a straw man fallacy. It should make you think that if during the debate that one side can only use fallacious reasoning, then that should make you wonder why that is.
I love how Witsit's using AI generated imagery.
Good.
It's quite comedic.
No, good.
Argument from unproved conclusion based on the beliefs of a large group of people. Example, 7 billion people believe the earth is a ball, but you think you're right. That's an appeal to consensus or majority or ad populum fallacy. And that is, of course, exactly what we heard when 99.9% of science and people believe that the earth is a ball. That is irrelevant. Argument that because a perceived authority believes something to be true, it must be true is an appeal to authority. All scientists agree that the earth is a globe. That is an appeal to an authority, and it is fallacious. Using ad hominem attacks to preemptively discredit the opponent, win on that one. All flat earthers are science-denying, religious conspiracy theorists, or I don't know. All flat earthers just feel the need to find something that they can pretend that they're smart or important enough to act that they have expertise in something they could never actually have expertise in, and so that they picked this to pretend that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like saying, you don't have qualifications, so you don't know what you're talking about. So it's like telling someone, oh, I've never done, you don't ever do research. What about people that aren't qualified chefs that make chef quality food? You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, you're not a chef, so you can't make food. Okay, good. Please go tell your wives that, people. Tell your wives, sorry, you're not a chef, so you can't make food. Let's see what they're going to tell you. Really idiotic. But that's the logic we get from these globies, though. It's really stupid. They don't have logic. There's no such thing as logic when it comes to an anti-flat earther. At all.
No.
It's a very...
Sorry? Want to say something?
No, I said definitely not. I agree. They'll contradict themselves in the same sentence. You know?
effective method, right? But it is a fallacy. It's one of the most disingenuous fallacies because you're preemptively discrediting the opponent and then trying to discredit them as a whole.
Yeah, that's to say, Gavin, these are all AI generated pictures. You can,
very good.
Yeah, there's a few ways you can actually get this made. I actually got on what the hell?
Means I know some of you are so fancy with your priority boarding at the airport. Well,
Science.
It went, sorry guys, went a bit, somewhere I clicked. But we get what he's saying anyway. But yeah, you can get that's all AI generated. You can actually do prompts and they can make a AI image for you based on it. I actually made a few thumbnails that way before, so
get to the bottom of it without any type of fallacies or interruptions, and I would appreciate it. I think the people here will probably do a good job on that. So the one question I want answered in this debate, and we'll see if it ever happens, can you substantiate and verify the globe Earth model is in fact true, void of logically fallacious reasoning?
Good question, Witsit. Actually, very good question.
That's my question. Simple question, simple request. Just one will suffice. Void of logically fallacious reasoning. All right, thank you. That is it.
Okay, guys. So I guess that's the show tonight. We just went through the openings because unfortunately I have to get sleep. I'm getting up in 3 hours again.
Yeah. Wow, you are like a superhero yourself.
Yeah, 4 hours. 4 hours I'm up.
Wow, man. Crazy. You're doing well. You're doing well.
So we'll carry on with this then tomorrow night. Hopefully the power is on at normal time.
Yeah.
So we can have a bit longer show. Sorry?
Ain't got much. I'm saying ain't got much to say about that really. It's just the opening statements, really, isn't it? But yeah, the usual. The usual with the anti-flat side. I mean, one of the first things one of them did was straight away flaffs. It's not. I mean, when we debate someone, yeah, we say glaffs between each other now and again, but when we're debating, we don't say you glaffers, and it's just something to put towards you to try and insult you, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think we embrace that now, being flaffers.
But yeah, it's. That's the thing. That's what I said. It's a big difference when it comes to anti-flat earthers and globers. The globers have a total different way of looking at things compared to anti-flat earthers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that's why you get a lot of people that were globers, quote unquote, become flat earthers because they're honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're choosing a pathway. Should I be dishonest and become an anti-flat earther, or should I be honest and become a flat earther, or just stay where I am with glow? Because you get a lot of people that just that I don't care about this, so I'll just stay where I am, which is honest too, because they just
Cool.
don't give a damn. It's like, what does it matter? But when it
Mm.
get to the people that are like, you know what, I'm just gonna fight for the sake of fighting. I'm gonna just tell you guys are wrong and stupid, and all the times you're telling me and telling me, okay, I'm just being wrong and showing me how I'm wrong. I'm gonna ignore it and concede a lot of the times and still tell you you're just stupid. Yeah, anti-flat earthers.
Matthew Eastman. Good night. I just woke.
Matthew Eastman, good to see you, man.
I hope you're not woke, dude. You're not a woke.
He's gonna get himself some pink hair now.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, I just want to say thank you for everybody that came. Thank you, PJ, for coming on Element,
No problem.
for staying up late with me.
That's right. I'm always up.
And thank you everybody in the YouTube lands and things. Thank you for hitting the likes if you have. If you haven't already, what's wrong? Just hit the likes. I'm sure you know how to do that button. And share the show. Really appreciate everybody's support on this channel. And I'll definitely see you guys all tomorrow night. Hopefully normal time. Anyway, I got to go to bed. Many, many blessings. And may the pressure with you. Cheers. And my intro's not working.